This is The Grow Business Podcast with Cory Mosley and Kerry James.
The Grow. It's the Grow Business Podcast.
With Cory Mosley.
We're already...
with Cory Mosley.
Yeah, and Kerry James. It's already getting crazy in here.
You need your own jingle.
This is so much fun. I have to tell you, it is a lot of fun. Folks, thank you for joining us for the Grow Podcast. I'm Cory Mosley.
With Kerry James.
Are you Kerry James? Speak with confidence.
In my wallet somewhere.
You got to speak with confidence. Well, we don't want to pull out your official government
issue.
We'll save that for another episode if you want to go pull out your government ID. So for the purposes of today's podcast, you are Kerry James.
For today, I'm Kerry James. Yes.
So that's good. I like that.
On the Grow Business Podcast.
I like that. Yes. Yeah.
And you are Cory Mosley.
Yeah, I am Cory Mosley. We're super excited to be here. We have a lot of fun, but as you know, we have a lot of fun. We want to edutain you. We want to edutain you, right? I think that's good.
That's good.
You know, we want to entertain, and we appreciate having you here, wherever you're streaming this from or watching it on YouTube. We're dedicated to helping you as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, grow your business. We do that by talking about topics and tips and tactics and techniques within my 5 pillars of business growth. See, I believe all business growth challenges can be overcome within one of the 5 pillars. Kerry, what are those 5 pillars?
All right, take a stab at it. Ready? I may get the order wrong.
Oh, well, you know, it's important to get the order right.
I know it is. All right, mindset, marketing, sales, people. I'm leaving one out.
Yeah, that's terrible. We're definitely going to have to.
Operations.
Yeah, we're definitely.
That's William chimed that one in for me.
Yeah,
Thank you.
The good news is Kerry just joined me for the podcast. He won't be leading any workshops on this topic anytime soon. But
let's put them in the right order.
Mindset, sales, marketing, operations, and people. And within that, I've got a very simple philosophy. What's the philosophy? Do you know that one? To do what? What's the 3 steps? Identify, isolate, and attack.
Right.
You got it?
I got it. Identify, isolate,
it's forever
and
burned in your, if you enjoy working here, this is probably something important that you want to know. And he was trying to get help. William was trying to help you. William, our engineer, he was trying to whisper some ideas to you here on that, but you didn't quite get it.
Well, I forgive me for only getting 4 of the 5 pillars, and I did not have them in the order. So,
well, we've got a lot of great things are happening this week. Now, I don't know, again, people will listen to this at a different time, but we've got Pegeen
tomorrow.
We've got Pegeen that we're interviewing on our show. On our small business show. And if you don't know who Pegeen is, she is such a dynamic and powerful speaker, leadership speaker, high energy, just funny. She's just a force. And when I saw her originally for the first time, I didn't know who she was. I mean, first off, you got to be cool if you have
the one name.
You're bold
enough to go by the one name.
If you're going by the one name, so
Sting,
it's just
Lady Gaga, Pegeen.
Now, I don't know if it's partially because her last name is a little tough to say, but it's just cooler, and
it's way cooler.
If you don't know her, if you just see pictures of her, you're like, that's one bad, bad lady,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bad.
What was the thing?
Bad meaning.
What were you gonna say?
But no, the first thing I saw was she came out to her own jingle.
That's cool.
She had her own, and I don't remember but it was like, oh, Pegeen power, Pegeen power. Like, it was just really cool.
Wait, whoa.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a jingle, Cory?
I have never had a jingle.
I think you need one.
I've never had a jingle.
William, can we work up something maybe in the next couple of weeks?
What would it be?
WSBN, Cory Mosley.
What's WSBN?
Small Business Network.
Oh, okay. W? I don't.
Well, W would be the radio if you were on radio.
Oh, okay.
W. Blah,
okay,
blah,
Kerry,
blah,
you have to.
KRP,
for those of you who don't know,
WSBN.
Kerry has spent 15 years as a professional disc jockey on radio. But
I
Kerry,
never actually recorded any jingles, so forgive me if that was a little.
Okay, well, no, well, but
I still-
you're doing
you
doing
could
cold
definitely use
letters,
one.
so I'm like, are you having flashbacks?
Yeah.
We're not there anymore, Kerry. You have been reborn.
I transitioned
Yeah, you have
into
been
the,
reborn.
podcast
It's gotten
world
better
now.
for you.
It
It's gotten
has,
better
yes.
for you. Well, you work on that jingle. We'll think about it when it comes to that. I did get some great news here that I want to look it up. Someone named Sweet Booty 45 is now following me on TikTok.
Of course, Sweet Booty 45 is.
Sweet Booty 45 is now following me on TikTok. How many of you out there, as you're growing your audience, if you're out there growing your audience, are you paying attention when people start following you? And do you go
With
look
a name
up,
like that,
you
might be paying
yeah, well, I did.
attention.
I
Sweet
did go
Booty
over, and spoiler alert, it's a guy. Okay, so I don't know what the correlation is, but listen, I appreciate all followers, all people who can benefit from our content. But today I wanted to kind of talk about, why a lot of small businesses stay small. Now, there's a definite. What's the definition, Kerry?
The small business. Why a small business stays small?
No,
Or
what's the definition of small business? Yeah, what do they say?
So that would be one that is independently owned and operated.
Yep, but what's the amount? You can employees.
The employees
like the
can
SBA.
range from 250 to 1,500 employees,
and still be called small
and
business.
still be considered a small business.
Yeah, so for the average person, when we say this, most people would view a 250 employee business as as bigger.
I would.
Right?
And then
Exactly.
up to 1,500. And
So-
of course, I'm referencing this from the Small Business Association. That's how they define
administration.
it.
Yeah,
Administration.
Yeah, sure. No, I understand that, but that's what I mean. So it's always good for clarity, though. So when we say small business, so when I'm talking about today, why a lot of small businesses stay small, I'm talking about those businesses that maybe have 3 people or 10 people or 11
gotcha,
or
right.
somewhere in that area that we mostly think of when we think about a small business.
Right.
Okay, oh great, we've got an HVAC company, or we've got a carpet cleaning business, and there's 7. We've got 3 trucks on the road plus me and my wife, and
Would you
that
say
type of
that's
thing.
more industry related based on the size sometimes?
No, I think I just think people have a definition of what small business. I mean, the average small the number statistically, I don't have it. I should have the hard data, but the amount of small businesses that don't earn over $1 million, like it's the number of businesses that do is very, very small percentage wise. So the bulk of people are $1 million and under in their businesses, right? So it's small business. So when I say today, because I've got a peeve here. I mean, and for people, what I really want to impart to people is really, I'm hard on these situations because there's so much opportunity for people to win that I don't think they properly leverage, either through deficiency of knowledge, many times, but just a lot of times people won't get out of their own way.
Would you maybe point to 1 or 2 things, like whether it's marketing, or they don't have enough cash up front, or they just don't have a good product, or maybe it's something as simple as they're ignoring their customers?
Right. Well, I got clarification. So William chatted me that only 9% of small businesses reach $1 million or more in revenue. 9%. So and so if you just define that number that the SBA talks about, 250 employees or less, right? You have to imagine if you're that big, you're clearly over the $1 million mark. So the subset of the subset, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be so low. So just most people. So the average businesses you see as you're driving down the street aren't
$1 million
aren't doing over $1 million.
Right. No,
right?
that's
Right?
very obvious.
So, but the point I want to make here, to your question, is the reason that is so. The reason that is so. Oh, we're getting some more statistics. I like this new system of getting information just popped into me. Census Bureau says most businesses have fewer than 5 employees. And small businesses, this one I knew, account for 99% of all U.S. companies. So that's just crazy, because when you think about the subset. So you've got 9%. So you've got 91% of small businesses don't make $1 million. have fewer than 5 employees, but account for 99% of all U.S. companies.
Yeah. That's huge.
But here's the separator. Because it's not just about capital and some of these other things. The separator is attitude and actions. Attitude and actions. Thinking like a small business, taking actions of a small business. And I'll give you a great example because people like to, and small business owners or companies that are way smaller than some of their competitors love to take shots at their competitors.
Of course.
They love to, they're overpriced, or man, you didn't get a good deal there, or whatever. A lot of times it's taking shots at that, right? I think that's haterade they're drinking, in a lot of reasons. And I was having this conversation about an HVAC company recently. HVAC, air conditioning, heating, cooling, right? I was having this conversation. So we use a company personally that is well known in the market, big in the market, a lot of trucks, a lot of personnel, a lot of overhead. And I consciously realized I probably, quote unquote, pay more for that or could get it for less.
How did you realize that?
Well, math.
Okay, but I mean, was it like you saw the competitor, or did you just
listen,
like, I'm not getting my value here?
The guy's got 100 employees. He's got 30 trucks. He's got a building. They've got. He's on TV He's on TV all the time.
So now we understand the scale.
So I'm just doing math, right? So how does that work? Well, that's got to be baked into the price.
Okay.
Right? Your advertising costs should be baked into the price of your services. Right? So we will refer, the language we would use for that is things like cost per sale, cost per customer acquisition, right? Your advertising costs. So you're baking that back in, or you should be baking that back in as you look at profitability.
Okay.
No point in selling $1 million worth of my products and services, but it costs me $950,000 to market them, right?
Right.
That you've got a pricing issue or a marketing issue. So that when you have that kind of setup, I can look at technology. They've got texting. They send me pictures of who's coming. There's videos. There's all these different things. So these are the things that, and again, when I say paying more, that's such a psychological statement too. Because what does that mean? So I know I'm paying more. Meaning, could I get it for less? Is there someone who could do HVAC for less or charges less per hour or whatever? Sure. But here's what I know about the company, the large company that I'm quote unquote overpaying according to their much smaller competitors. I know someone answers the phone when I call. I know that a tech is going to show up within a certain amount of hours or window.
Right.
I know that they're going to text me the information. I know that they're going to send me a link to a tracker so I can see where I am in the visit queue. I could see where that person is in their route on their way to my location.
And these are all important actions that a successful company would take.
Yeah, and I like somebody.
I like somebody. Attitudes and actions. This is the action part,
right? And I like to do business with people I could sue. And what? and let me qualify that,
please.
Here's what I mean by that. I want to do business with a company that, if there's a problem and things go wrong, I can take action.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
So I've got, John, who's a one-man band, and shout out to solo. We work with a ton of solopreneurs.
Sure.
But I work with John. He's a one-man band. John's not properly insured because he didn't know that he was supposed to have this level of insurance on his business. Maybe he's not bonded properly. Right. Maybe he's not doing that. We were going to have a guy one time at our old office come work on our family friend, come work on our floors. I wanted to get the flooring changed in our kitchen area in our office. And I said, great, I'd love to have you do this. Oh, I'm going to give you a great deal. Fantastic. Yeah. I just need you to send over your certificate of insurance.
Sure.
So,
which would be a normal question to ask.
Correct. Our landlord requires it to do any work in our building. Our lease requires it. So I just need to send you over. Crickets.
No idea what it was.
Well, no, not the one who was. He just probably didn't have it.
Okay.
Right. So now he comes in.
So
right,
he hasn't taken the action.
Right. So he comes in. No, he's been in business for 40 years. So he just works with people who don't require it.
I got you.
But here's my point. My point is he comes in, tears up our floors, or does something that can't be fixed or repaired. What's my action? Right.
Yeah.
He doesn't have insurance. So I can't go over to the insurance company to pay a claim.
Right.
I've got to answer to my landlord. I'm now out of my lease agreement, or I have exposure now.
Yes.
And now it's on me to have another company. So when I say that, the most controversial way to say is I want somebody I could sue. That gets people's attention. But my point is having something where you're tangibly invested in
something that's accountable.
In the business. Yeah. This big company screws up. I've got people I can call. There's managers there. There's supervisors.
There's accountability.
There's the owner. Right. There's his reputation.
Sure.
Joe
doesn't
blows it.
Right. Yeah.
Good luck. Come get me. Right. I mean, that's the.
Unfortunately,
right?
that's for a lot of them.
So
right.
I get a lot of some friends. I get a lot of flack for. I say also when I travel a lot of times, I like chain restaurants.
Yes.
Oh no, Cory, you should go taste the local flavor. Taste the local flavor. Yeah. No, because I know what I'm getting at the chain.
Right.
I don't want to waste a meal. I don't want to waste hunger on a bad decision.
Right.
Right. I don't want to waste money.
Right.
But I also want somebody I can hold accountable.
Yes.
Right? I fly out of town. I say, I want to have a steak. I go to Morton Steakhouse, have a bad experience. I call corporate. Somebody that can make it right.
Yes.
Oh, Mr. Mosley, here's a voucher for your next meal or whatever. I do that at Sally's Italian buffet.
Yeah, who are you going to tell?
Right,
Sally?
and Sally's just going to throw me out of the joint.
If there even is a Sally.
Right. You don't like it. You don't like it. Get out. Right. So I just like that account. And again, I support plenty mom and pop businesses.
No, I know.
Locally where I live.
We were talking about one yesterday.
But there's just an attitude about how, and these are things for me. I'm not telling anybody how to do business, but back to this conversation about the HVAC in this example. So they get a lot of hate in the community from smaller companies. Oh, we could have saved you money. Oh, you overpaid. These type of things. But what did I talk about? What did I say? Attitude. You got to take these notes. I'll drop something.
Attitudes and actions.
Yeah. So attitudes and actions. So if I called their place, I'm getting a voicemail, and this is true. I'm not speculating, right? Because I've tried. I've tried this exercise.
Yes.
But I'm getting a voicemail. Many times you don't get called back right away.
Right.
Because there's not a sense of urgency, which is attitude.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
Oh, we're busy. We're whatever. So you're not getting called back right away. I have no idea. It's all fast and loose. Like no processes.
Right.
Attitudes and actions. So when I say actions, I'm talking about processes, procedures. You're staying small because you're acting small. The behaviors are small. It's laissez-faire. It's running the business like a hustle instead of a business. If more small business owners, if more of these solopreneurs or the 3-4 person businesses, these small businesses that William was talking about, fewer than 5, if they acted like larger corporations,
had the attitudes of a larger corporation,
had the attitudes, had the urgency,
right, and in the
then they'd be growing their business.
And speaking
faster.
to the actions, would have the processes and procedures in place,
correct,
which is not difficult to do.
Correct,
I would think.
Oh, it's 6 o'clock. I'll get back to that person tomorrow. Oh, sorry I didn't get back to you yesterday. We just got caught up, but I'm here now. No, you're not, because I hired somebody else. I went to the next person and they answered the phone.
And that's one thing they're not making more of is time. Your time's valuable. If you're not getting a call back, you're going to go right to the next one.
And then, you paid more. Okay, thankfully I had it to pay.
Right.
Because you know what I don't have? A leaky toilet, a leaky sink.
Yes, I have a solution now.
I've got heat.
My problem has been fixed.
Right, I've got heat. So if you're telling me I could have paid you $300, but I ended up paying $450, but somebody answered the phone. Somebody came out the next day in the window that they said they would. They were reliable.
Right.
Like, I forget what the saying is. People step over quarters to pick up pennies or something. It's one of those things people say. So many times, that's the attitude and actions.
But the point is, you've got somebody who's accountable. They showed up when they said they were going to within that window. They may have even texted or called you first to say they were on their way.
They're running
Afterwards,
a real business.
They probably followed up with you with some kind of review.
Of course.
Yes.
That's radar service.
All the
give
actions.
us a Yelp review.
That was a procedure in place they followed.
That's a process.
Yes.
That's right. Listen, when somebody comes in, with our Thought Leadership Studios company, if somebody comes in and does a studio interview to build their reputation and credibility, there's a process, right?
Yes.
They go through a questionnaire.
Yeah.
Right? We
It
curate
a
that.
detailed process.
And there's things that happen after.
Process.
Right?
Post action. Yes. All of that.
Yeah, then we ask
And
for,
what do? They come back.
Right. And then we
And
ask
they
for
always say they had a good
reviews.
experience.
And we ask for reviews. So like if I look up, like we just got a review yesterday because we asked for the review. Who I saw it come in. Anton Gunn, who we had on recently. We had on the Meet the Expert show recently. Outstanding organization, does outstanding work. Great experience with the entire team. They made everything simple and easy. Definitely work with them. 5 stars.
Yes.
Now,
and I should mention that's a return guest.
Right, that's a return guest. But more importantly, that was solicited.
Yes, but easy.
No, right, but see, like people, this is what I'm saying, where people get stupid. Oh, well, you know what? We want our customers to organically give us reviews. Stop
Good luck.
the madness.
Good luck with that.
Right, that was a process.
Where do you
right?
think you are?
The product aired, the interview aired, and then we have a process that says in 24 hours, we send an email thanking them and requesting that they give us a review. And then a large percent do. We're still chasing the people. We're going to email you more than once. But and particularly the people who are action oriented and really excited from the interview. And that's tactically. We do it 24 hours after. We don't do it 6 months. Right. I mean, there's no secrets. I mean, there's nothing like. Yeah. I mean, this is our process that we use in one of our businesses right now. Right, so that airs 24 hours later. We go for the review when they're high off of seeing their media. They've been all over LinkedIn and their social media and these different things.
And the point is, they've been touched all along the way. There's been a process all along the way. They've had a communication from step 1, 2, 3, 4. So by the time we get to step 10 of soliciting that review, there's no surprise, and they're happy to do it because we've been communicating. There's been a process all along the way.
Can you imagine if it was just like, oh, when would you like to come in? Okay, yeah, all right. Well, let's see how it goes. Let's wing it. And so there's things. We send pictures. We take photos. We send pictures afterwards, just as a nice touch. So now people have pictures of them being interviewed in the studio.
All part of the process.
Like all part. That's a process. And I see it over and over and over again with services, products and services coming to the market. And they're fast and loose. And they wonder why they're not growing. They wonder why the business is not as sustainable as they want it to be. Because they're not behaving. You're staying small and the revenues are smaller because your attitude is small. Your attitude is laissez-faire. Oh, Cory, you're preaching at me. Say what you want to say, but don't say it ain't true. Because anybody who wants to challenge me on this, please do. And rest assured, I will go mystery shop your business.
Do you hear, Cory, a lot of the same excuses from small businesses who can't wrap their head around, oh, if I just had the attitude of a larger organization, or if I just follow these actions and procedures like a large, do they have specific things that they say, oh, it's just 3 of us here, or like, is there something that you hear more often from a small business?
No, I mean, listen, I mean, marketing's a challenge. So it's so funny.
Okay, they'll say like marketing person. Well, we don't have a marketing person or something.
Right. Well, we don't have. Well, you can solve. I mean, we're in the gig economy. You can solve that. There's nothing that you're trying to figure out in your business that you can't hire somebody to do. Now, that's a different podcast.
Okay.
this idea of professionals hiring other professionals. This DIY. I mean, you guys have been around me long enough. You know how much I hate DIY.
Yeah.
Just because your skill set, most of us are not Swiss Army knives.
No, it's true, right?
Most of us are not accountants, web developers,
right.
copywriters.
No, we specialize.
Right. I mean, your skill set. Listen, if I have a bakery, that doesn't make me an expert in marketing.
Yeah,
my cookies better be pretty good. Right. If I want to sustain, I better bake good cupcakes if I want to sustain. But everything else, I might have ideas. Right? I might have ideas, but that doesn't make me but I need to bring somebody in. I need to get some other eyes on it. I need to rely on some other experience for that. And people try to take it all in themselves. They course themselves to death. I stopped doing courses. I stopped selling courses inside our organization. At one time, we had a series of courses and video training on this and that and these skills. And I just realized, and I just said to myself, hey, most people don't finish the courses. They don't go through all of it. They don't execute. They don't, me included.
Okay.
I mean, I'll crack the closet open and show you some cassette tapes and some DVDs.
Ooh.
And some DVDs or some programs. I don't even have a place to play them anymore because I don't have a DVD
But you're
player.
saying that they weren't completed.
Right. No, it was like 27 CDs that I paid tons of money for, but never got completed. I've watched a few select ones, but I didn't go through the whole process to the T because I've got too much stuff going on and I've got the attention span of a gnat.
Which a lot of people do.
I'm having a meeting this morning. You weren't here yet. We're having a team meeting this morning. William's gonna laugh. I'm dead into the topic of the meeting.
Yes.
But I see off into my peripheral vision that there's a cup of tea sitting on the kitchen table area. Yes. Well, William had got tea while it was steeping and came back over to his desk, and I started the meeting. But I stopped the meeting. I'm like, who's tea? Oh, somebody need tea? Dude, just like that. I'm off to something else. So, how impossible is that? I love this stat. William said 90% of people who sign up for online classes don't complete them. I don't know what the source is for that.
What a shocker.
But it sounds true.
It sounds very true.
It certainly sounds true. So anyway, my point is, and
yes,
we'll talk about all these things. The attitudes and actions. That's the theme that I want to run through here.
Right.
As a business owner listening to this, as an entrepreneur, even if you're an entrepreneur, meaning you want to start your own business, you're looking at ideas, or this is going to be your year, your month, or your quarter, or your time, however you want to look at it. What are you doing? What are you doing in that process when it comes to your attitude about what's your attitude about customer service? I think a lot of small business owners are not as concerned. They say, I don't think anybody wants to intentionally piss customers off, yet it happens every day, right?
But they might be more focused on their product and kind of forget about the service.
I think there's a lack of care.
Or even awareness.
Someone calls your office, you don't call them back. You take your time getting back to someone.
Ignoring customers is the reason that they cannot grow.
Right. Or you're in a business. I mean, I had a guy come to my house and give us a quote on painting. He said to me, dead up, I have to respect his statement. Right. He said to me, dead to my face, just so you know, we don't do a lot of follow-up. We're super busy. And no one will probably follow up with you. So if you're interested, great, but we're probably not following up, like with a certainty. And he delivered. He delivered on his promise because I never heard from him again.
Gosh.
So I don't know. Shame on me. Maybe I wasn't a real. Was I not a real? Maybe I wasn't a real buyer. I didn't buy yet. I didn't make a decision. So maybe I don't know if you're a good
problem for him to have.
If you're a painter, in the Richmond, Virginia area, hit me up. Might be an opportunity. Hit me on social media. Might be an opportunity for you. But that's stunning behavior to me. But now he's busy. But what happens when you're not busy? What happens when a new competitor comes into the marketplace and starts to eat your lunch? We talk about this all the time. Businesses erode. They don't die overnight. They erode over time.
Yes, we talked about that.
Right?
Yes.
So But that's why I see it. And I can look at a situation. I can look at a situation and hear and listen to someone's behavior about how they run their business, how they approach business. And do not get my message twisted today. If you get a lead into your business at 11:30 p.m. at night, I'm not suggesting you have to hop out of bed and I'm probably discouraged. I probably don't want you to do that and call that lead at 11:30 at night to show that you're engaged. Now, you can have some processes. You can have automated email that sets the expectations that goes out.
Yes.
Hey, we appreciate the opportunity.
Back to actions
We appreciate,
again.
yeah, right. We appreciate the opportunity for your business. We will be in touch within one business day. Set expectations, right? So I'm not saying you need to be tethered to your phone and customers need to. I mean, people know, people that I've worked with that have been in my coaching programs. Nobody has my cell phone number because I'm not going to encourage that.
Right.
I need some coaching, Cory. So 7:30 at night, I feel freewheeling enough to call my cell phone number. Not going to happen. So I set parameters.
Right. Various parameters,
Right.
expectations.
And how to serve my clients.
And they probably really appreciate that because that way they know when you are available, how you're available, and
Right. I set expectations.
and they understand boundaries.
Right. That's right. And that's important. So that's a process and a procedure, right?
Yep, under
So that
action.
keeps my sanity because entrepreneurs will talk about burnout. I'm so burnt out. I'm in war. My clients are wearing me out, this, that, and the other. Well, that's a failure of processes and procedures, managing your client. So, but attitudes and actions meaning
Processes, and
processes
procedures.
and procedures, right? Not complaining. That person that was complaining to me about how I overpaid the other company is the people that don't answer the phone, don't return emails efficiently. So you're going to save me money, but you're going to aggravate the SHIT out of me.
Would you say that?
I try not to encourage because I know my mother listens to my podcast.
So for let's just say someone who doesn't respond, to a phone call, is that in a deeper sense like their attitude's a lack of focus?
It's a lack of, they use this term in business, they use this term in medical and legal industry, I believe. It's a lack of duty of care.
Okay, that's what I was reaching for.
So your attitude is, and let me tell you, the smaller your business is, the more susceptible you are to making bad emotional decisions. You're a business of one, you have a bad day, everybody's
Right.
catching it.
Yes.
The customer might catch it. A prospect might catch it. Because you don't have processes and procedures.
Because if you did, and you did have a bad day, you can still fall back on
When you
the
see-
process or the procedure.
Right.
Okay, I know that if I follow this and this step and that step, regardless of how things are going in my life,
Right.
these tasks will
Well,
get
listen,
done.
when we have
and
clients at the
customer will get
office,
served.
when we have clients at the office, there's plenty of times we have clients at the office and I'm not here, correct?
Yes.
Right? That's because we have processes and procedures.
Yes.
Oh, Cory's not going to be here for no, because there's processes and procedures on how things are going to happen.
Yes.
That I'm comfortable enough with exiting that piece. I don't need to be micro because I know how much you guys love when I am micro.
Do we hear the crickets?
yeah. When I am micro.
Oh, we might have it.
Wait. Nobody's saying anything there. Yeah, when I am micro.
Yes.
But I'm micro because I'm passionate about the outcome. I want to, if I get involved in a situation. We had somebody in here recently, and I stopped something that was going on because I didn't like how it
that's
looked.
right. Yes.
Right? Because I cared about the client enough to also say, I'm not going to let this continue. We need to fix it.
Well, you, however, you don't lack that duty of care. You embrace that duty of care.
Sure, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. So I think so again, because it's not, because I'm going to get somebody, Cory, how you tell people they don't care about their customers. Of course they care about their customers. Not if you don't return phone calls, not if you can't return it, and not if you do it at your leisure. There's two tracks. There's customer-centric policies and procedures, and there's internal-centric, right? Internal are the things that you do to make your business run smoother, right? So how we record a podcast, what happens after we record it, where does it go?
Right.
How does it get from us being here right now to the marketplace, to our social media channels, to YouTube, to Spotify, to our outlets? How does it get there? Those are internal centric policies and procedures that we create to make the process and make the business run smoothly.
Yes.
Then you have customer-centric policy. These are policies and procedures that you develop that ensure a great customer experience.
Right.
Introduction to your brand, meaning lead generation, like what happens. You know, somebody wants to book a thought leadership interview or have that discussion. We have a calendar readily available that you can book a time to talk with someone in our office. You don't have to just fill out a form and hope somebody calls you back, right? So those are customer-centric processes to create more immediacy, to create more action. Now you go to that, you go to, in this case for thought leadership, you go to yourexpertiseonvideo.com, you click secure an interview,
right?
You're going to see a calendar of our sales and marketing manager, right? You're going to see a calendar. You can pick your time. So you know So here's my point. You know exactly what's going to happen because you've selected it.
Because you put the customer-centric procedures in place.
Right. You're saying it's this day, the 23rd of this day, and 10 a.m. You're booking it at that point. So there's no surprise about when someone's gonna. So you know who you're talking to because their information's there. You've selected the place and the time, the day. You've selected that, so you know exactly what next steps are. Yes. Right? And you've also provided us information that is going to make that process efficient. So that's a customer-centric. Right, that's a customer-centric. That's duty of care, right?
Yes.
And then now, obviously, once you become a client, people in our coaching program, people who come to our workshops, we have processes and procedures. It's not emotional.
No. And just kind of going back to that, as you said, the smaller businesses make the more emotional decisions because they don't have those. They don't
many times processes and procedures
in place. Did I follow that correctly?
Yeah. The more emotional you drive your business, it's because you don't have
the procedures and
right. You don't have these things
and processes in place.
Right. So attitudes and actions at that point, high level. Right. That's where it gets interesting. So, and if you're the problem with being the key holder,
yes,
is you could turn the key. You own a restaurant,
right?
We've got a barbecue joint near our house. I don't go there anymore because I got tired of trying to figure out the schedule. When it's open, when it's closed, like it's the whims.
Is it takeout? Is it diet?
Right, the whims of the pitmaster. Every day there's another email. Oh, we're closed at 2 o'clock. We're going to start opening on Tuesdays now. We're closed on Tuesdays.
And they lost you and probably others as well.
So now I don't care how great your brisket is, dude.
Without
I'm not going through all that, right? Yeah. If I have a taste for Chinese food right now, I can go get that satisfied immediately. If I have a taste for barbecue, I got to play Where is Waldo with that restaurant. And you know what? Guess what?
You're not going to bother.
I'm not going to play Where's Waldo, right? So I'm out. And that's how big. So when that guy is sitting around wondering why his barbecue business is failing, why he's not growing, because I guarantee you he's saying to himself, can't be the barbecue. I've got the greatest barbecue.
I'm in a good location. I don't understand.
I've got the best barbecue in the state of
I market
Virginia.
all over social media. I don't get it.
But
you know the processes and procedures in place.
Right. Because
just basic.
He's making an emotional decision. Maybe he didn't feel like opening today, so he didn't. I don't know. William's laughing. Maybe he just didn't feel like it. I don't know. I don't feel like slanging baby back ribs today, so I'm not. But these are the killers. So I'm out. I don't care how great. So I don't care how great your product or service is. If you have these barriers, if you have poor duty of care, you're going to suffer. And do not hate on your competitors who are bigger than you, more capitalized on you than you potentially, because it didn't always start that way.
Right. And from a public relations standpoint, you probably shouldn't do that anyway.
Oh, I mean, hate. I mean, forget about that. You're talking about, I'm just saying in general.
Okay.
Casual. I'm not talking about go on. So I don't think that HVAC company's on camera going, you shouldn't do business with these big people.
Well, no, but
right?
I mean, if they come to your house to work on something, then they start bad-mouthing another organization.
Right, or whatever. But again, that goes, what did I say? The smaller your business, many times the more emotional you are. So the more free-flying you are with making those comments, I would be mortified. Now, I like to think of myself as a decent boss. I would be mortified, though, if I found out that people on my team were talking crap about me or our organization outside of the and I hear that all the time. People complaining about the place they work.
Really?
Yes. To your face, like as the customer. Oh yeah, I know why your food's taking so long, because
oh my God,
Reynard and them back there fighting again. Right? Yeah, Jim don't never come to work on time. That's why that's why we're running late. That's why we're running behind this morning. I keep telling them, and they won't do nothing about it. Ma'am, I'm sorry, I don't even know you. I'm just a customer. Like that is. I mean,
and it's these little things that probably cause these businesses to erode over time.
Right. So today,
that attitude.
Yes, correct. It's long-term erosion. So to recap this deal before we get out of here, right? We're talking about attitudes and actions. We're talking about stop playing small. You have to look at some of these and here's the blessing. You can create these processes and procedures with software and technology that is not going to break the bank.
Right.
You used to, yes, you needed to be a $5 million company to have a good CRM to be able to stay in contact and communicate and share information, say happy birthday to your customers 12 months from now. You used to have to spend these big dollars to do these things. Now you can get a CRM for free.
Yeah.
You can get a CRM that you can use for up to 1,000 customers until you have to start paying for it. You've got services in this SaaS marketplace we're in. $19 a month to do this. $29.95 you can have this. So you can create these processes and these processes and change your attitude, right? From a pillar standpoint. This is the marketing pillar. This is the operations pillar. And it's the mindset pillar. But you got to start with changing your attitude. You have to make the decision now. Like, once you turn this off, you've got to make the decision now that I want to run a better business. And I'm going to start with how I think about my customers, my clients, my marketing.
And once you change that attitude, then it's much easier to open up to the processes and procedures. Like once you go, okay, you know what? This is what I want to do. Now
Identify, isolate,
and attack.
That's why this is so. That's why when we talk about these 5 pillars, that's why when we talk about this isolate, attack, identify, isolate, attack. That's why it's so powerful. The simplicity of it, and it's repeatable, because that's what we need. Repeatable.
Yeah.
Repeatable ways to get to the next step, get to the next level, to create growth inside the business. Duty of care, attitudes and actions, folks. Stop this hate. Stop hating on these companies that are bigger than you.
No, because you can get that big yourself.
Yeah, because you don't have their processes and procedures in place. You're overpaying. Every time I hear that, I just go, you paid too much. Well, I didn't even know you existed. So maybe that's shame on you.
Right.
Number 1.
Yeah.
Right? Number 2, I guarantee you, just because you were cheaper, there's probably some things that I'm not going to get. My uncle has a saying. He has a lot of sayings, but my uncle that you'll hear me quote often has a saying. He said, cheap and good rarely go together.
Cheap and good rarely go together.
I got a manicure the other day.
Yes.
It was cheap.
Yeah.
It wasn't good.
Oh, yeah.
It was amateur hour.
But that's an appropriate.
I got the nail technician who was at school all day and rushed over to do her nail job, and rightly so. Do what you got to do to, pay your tuition and live and do these things. But do you think she's as good as the professional manicurist?
Right. No.
Who's there full time?
Of course not. Right.
No.
Yeah.
So I got cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, my nails are clipped.
They're clipped.
I got to do it the manly way. You look
Right.
at you do that. Yeah, do it this way. Yeah. Well, I don't. Okay, now
Hey.
Well, now you took it. Now you took it somewhere else, Kerry James. But I do it this way. But I got it cheap. But I couldn't say I did it good. I got it good. I got it okay. So you get to decide what type of business owner, what type of entrepreneur you want to be. You can be cheap. You can be so-so. You can give back to people when you want. You can not care about your website, how it looks or the investment because you're trying to do it yourself. Oh, well, Cory, I'm doing it yourself. It's easy for you to say, if I had infinite dollars, I could do it.
But we just talked about that. You just said you don't need infinite dollars.
You don't need infinite.
There
You don't need
are
infinite
software
dollars.
out
Right.
there. Some of it's free early on.
Yeah. Listen, barter with people. What do you have?
Barter. That's a great. Yeah,
you can
exactly.
barter with people. You can, do you have other means that you can promote them? How can you help them that maybe will offset? So there's a lot of creative ideas, and that's some other stuff we'll get into as we continue. But we just want to wrap up today's podcast. I appreciate you being here, tuning in. If you're here, we want to impact your business. So Kerry and I just don't want to rant for an hour. We want to impact your business. I want to create some light bulb moments. I want to educate you. I want to motivate you, and I want to activate you. We want to get that across here, and we do that through the power of story. We do that through giving you some actionable things. I want you to have some thought starters here. So if you like what you're hearing, you want more of it, please follow the show, comment, like what we're doing, hit that like button on our YouTube page. Follow us on our social media, follow the podcast, and share it with any of your colleagues, people who are in the entrepreneurship space, business owners, or people who want to get in there. Because the other value that I'm really laser focused on is helping people avoid mistakes. Right? It's cool to tell stories about stuff that happened.
But if you eliminate mistakes, the opposite of that is efficacy, is success.
Sure.
So yeah,
look, Kerry James bringing out the big words as we wrap up. I love it. Remember to head over to our website, growwithcory.com, because that's the place where we're sharing all of my content, 100% free, 100% free. These podcasts, videos, articles, the latest information, things to grow your business, we're sharing 100% free. Growwithcory.com.
Growwithcory.com. And I like the word that you coined at the top of the podcast, which was, we are here to edutain you.
Edutain.
Yes, that was good.
Edutainment. With that, we're going to get out of here. I'm Cory Mosley.
I'm Kerry James.
And this is the Grow Business Podcast. We will
see you next time.
See you next time.